Sir?
Back here, Jack. Here. This dossier is for you. My report of Sandrak's time as an immortal. Some details remain classified. I'm sure you understand.
This will have to do then. Thank you, sir.
Come. Show me the mark you recovered from the Shrine Forge.
Sure.
It lets you feel the movements of the Binding Stone?
Yeah. Sandrak's definitely sailing the deep mirror, but his movements are weird. Erratic.
Unfortunately, we can't afford to send a large force out to sea. Most of the Light's army musters at the front, and we need them to remain there. You, Zendara, and Devin will have to face Sandrak alone. Well, not exactly alone. My contacts in the Clayless Traders Guild provided us with a Colossal during the Trenchship Rebellion. I never gave it back. It'll take time to wake her up. She's not seen service in a very long time. Captain Selko's a fine steersman, if I recall correctly.
And I can guide him to wherever Sandrak is using my mark.
That's the plan. Now, unless you have something else to ask me, that'll be all.
Look, I know what I said earlier, but you've been hiding anything and everything about Sandrak being an immortal since day one. I deserve more than a report you wrote up.
Tell me, Jack, if you had a very close friend that you shared a common cause with for the longest time, a vision of what was right and true and good, and they betrayed that vision, betrayed you, how would you feel? Would you want to talk about it? Could you talk about it? If the person you once knew became someone you could never now understand?
Yes, absolutely. I'd have to know how it even got to that point.
Sandrak and I were companion in arms for longer than you've been alive. We stood against the Kalthus estates, the Sea King usurper, the Colossals of the Arjaman pretenders, even against Rasharn, his homeland. And then one day, he refused to participate in a mission that could have very well ended the war.
What mission?
Read the report.
And we're back to that.
Look, what's important is that Sandrak had orders, and he allowed his own hubris to ignore them. He made a decision that jeopardized the rest of us because he thought he knew better.
Yeah. Hubris sure is some bad news. It's terrible.
For the breaking of his oaths to the Order, I exiled him back to Rasharn as punishment, thinking his ancestral enemies there would be the death of him.
That last part didn't work out.
Not even a little bit.
All right. I've got everything I need, sir.
Zendara and Devin should have already returned by now. You'll all set out for the Deep Mere in the morning. Oh, one more thing. The Oromik girl, Kenzie. She wanted to speak to you when you returned from the Shrine Forge. I think she's a bit smitten with you.
Yeah, I don't know if it's limited to just me, sir.
Initiate, come up to the war chamber. Devin and I have decided that since we might die in the morning, we should,
Get hammered!
yes. That.
On my way. Silas,
Hello, sir.
now that Yothium is secured, do you have your reassignment?
You heard the Grand Magnus at your ceremony, sir. We're either meant for the front, or we're marching north to help Lavenry. The brass is still working out the details.
Have a preference?
The front, sir. Even though that's an airship over the wound and I have no stomach for flight. My mother and brothers are stationed there. Trenchers by trade, the lot of us. The Magnus that owns our debts likes his lightless to fight his families. Has enough pull with the Light's army to ensure it happens.
So how did you end up here?
A clerical error, most like. Things got a bit scrambly when it was apparent Sandrak really meant it this time, going for the ley line tower. But, this way I get to tell Mom I fought alongside the hero of Yothium, right?
How many lightless does your Magnus oversee?
Can't count them all by now. He's been taking on the debts of hundreds of us from the other Magni for years. As I understand it, having an implied private army within the army is a mark of prestige in the dynastic houses. You know, like you'll be doing now that you're an immortal.
Yeah, no, I wasn't planning on it.
Are you serious? Debt collection seems wonderful to me. I mean, us lightless have been trained at the country's expense, and our arms and armor aren't free, are they? It adds up fighting for one's king.
You know that's fucking insane, right? As a general line of thinking.
Huh. Is it? But then, who am I to question the ways of the Magni, sir? I might even be accused of being unpatriotic.
Kirkin was your father's commanding officer at Sundown 10?
Indeed she was, sir, ages ago. What a harrowing experience that was, by all accounts. My father's still shaken by it. Sundown 10's one of the few battles where Rasharn deployed its Archon battalion. Even though it was a Lucian victory, due to your Grand Magnus, of course, they say the Archons were granted rights of citizenship in Rasharn after that.
Their constructs are citizens?
Just the Archons, sir, for their valor in battle. They're allowed free worship, of what I can't begin to imagine, and have the vote so long as they serve in the Rasharnian armed forces for a span. That's what some of my squad mates used to say anyway, the older ones. It could just be a lightless soldier's tale. You know how fanciful they can be when it comes to ideas of rights and opportunities and such.
That shouldn't have to be fanciful.
Now you're just pulling my leg, sir.
Sundown 10. Kirkin never talks about that battle.
That's strange, sir. She found her glory names there. Fury of the Broken March, the Warbird of Aquil. That's a tradition that's fallen out of favor, names of glory. I don't know why, they sound so crackerjack. Sundown 10's where the Grand Magnus had the accident with her arm, you know?
Hold on, you know that story?
Only as my father tells it. He says that after days and days of fighting, the Grand Magnus ended up overloading her sigil until it just fused into her arm.
Sigils are used to level your magic. That shouldn't have happened.
Father did say the Grand Magnus was arguing with her sigil constantly to lift that restriction. One day it finally gave in.
What? You can't do that.
I don't know, sir. She can be very intimidating.
When did you join the Lights Army?
When I was 13, sir. Mom and Dad thought it best if I went in before draft age. They feared if I went in with the normal conscripts, I'd learn all the wrong lessons. You know how they're always so rebellious at that age.
A bit. Still, that's stupidly young to be on the field, Silas.
I don't know. The king led his first charge when he was 12. Into the lines of the Red Colonel's rebels, no less.
Yeah, but the king is a Magnus of the strongest bloodline in Lucium, and he was riding a howler.
Yeah! And armored head to toe in unbreakable glimmer-spite silver. I know. So if your king set such an example, me crossing my first swords at 13 doesn't seem so audacious, now does it?
I'd better go. Kenzie?
Over here, champ.
Did you get lost?
No, Everwar Central here just kind of skeeves me out. And then someone told me about all those names out there being dead people, and the garden area thing, it was nice.
Yeah, the names hit me pretty hard too when I first got here.
I was going to leave, but then your boss lady said you were on your way back, and there I am thinking about dead people, and then of course I suddenly can't get Thaddeus out of my head.
I'm really sorry. I know you two were close.
He was such an asshole. When you hung out with him, did he talk about me at all? I really looked up to him. I don't really want to admit that, but whatever.
He never mentioned you at all.
Wow.
Yeah, the stuff we were talking about was more...
Important, okay, sure. Don't soften the blow or anything. Alright then, I guess my job's done here. I'll be off. If I can remember where the exit is. This place is stupidly...
We're heading out to the Deep Mirror tomorrow to beat the hell out of Sandrak. Wanna come?
The ocean? Oh, hell no. No one from Orman knows how to swim.
Well, neither does anyone from Saren. We'll both be trailblazers. Also, you're good in a fight. We could use that.
I helped you out once. Do it again and I'm just another pawn of the hegemony. Count me out, soldier boy.
Worth a try.
Swell digs, by the way. Pretty enlightening seeing how the other half lives.
Look now, I grew up in the Underbridge. In the slums. I just work here.
My bad. Totally didn't realize you were keeping it real.
Bye, Kenzie. And hey, thanks for the assist with finding the Shrine Forge.
See ya, hot stuff. Not much left to say, really.